Another liberal icon has fallen. CNN's Chris Cuomo is being accused of sexual harassment, all as any semblance of CNN's credibility crumbles into dust. In this video, we're going to take a look at the accusations. We're going to see how this isn't the first time Cuomo has been accused of such behavior. And stick with me to the very end of this video, and I'll show you how more and more mainstream news outlets are all distancing themselves from CNN, the most distrusted name in fake news. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote, offering patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we jump into things here, gang, I am so excited. You heard the announcement last week, but I have the honor of sharing the stage with the one and only Donald Trump Jr. on October 8th and 9th in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm so thrilled to be partnering with the American Freedom Tour and speaking alongside Kayleigh McEnany and Dinesh D'Souza and Dan Bongino and many more patriots that you know and love in Jacksonville. And I want to meet you there, so make sure to click on that link below to register for this amazing conference. And to make it even sweeter, if you're one of the first 100 people to sign up, you'll be entered into a drawing for me and my team to take you out to dinner. It's going to be so awesome. Plus, if you click on that link below, everyone gets at least some super amazing bonuses, including my best-selling book bundle, an official Turley Talks t-shirt, and a 3-month access to our Insiders Club. So don't wait, click on that link below and join me for dinner. I cannot wait to see you in Jacksonville. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse for CNN, the lowest of the low when it comes to the mainstream media, well, it does. Their own fanboy anchor, Chris Cuomo, is now being openly accused of sexual harassment, with his very own email being used as evidence against him. In a bombshell piece published by the New York Times, Cuomo's former boss, executive producer Shelley Ross, outlined an incident where Cuomo met her at a bar and hugged her tightly, squeezing her butt in full view of her husband back in 2005, of course, without her permission. She wrote, quote, "When Mr. Cuomo entered the Upper West Side bar, he walked toward me and greeted me with a strong bear hug while lowering one hand to firmly grab and squeeze the cheek of my buttock." And she quoted Cuomo as allegedly saying, "I can do this now that you're no longer my boss." She also produced an email that shows that Cuomo apologized, first to her husband, interestingly enough, and then to her. In other words, it appeared that Cuomo apologized only because he really got caught, and then proceeded, being the lawyer that he is, he proceeded to draw distinctions between what he did and what others like Christian Slater, who actually got arrested for doing the very same thing, for squeezing the butt of a woman without her permission. He was actually charged with third-degree sexual abuse. Cuomo clearly recognized that he could be brought up on charges and preemptively sent out the email to Shelley Ross to try to placate the situation. So why did Shelley Ross make this revelation now? What do you think prompted her to go public with this? Well, obviously, it's now the very public revelations that Chris Cuomo, in fact, advised his governor brother Andrew on how to handle the sexual harassment allegations that were piling up against him. It's being widely reported that Chris advised his brother to take a defiant position against his accusers and fight back against the accusations. So Chris Cuomo, who's supposedly this champion of the Me Too movement and believe all women, according to an Attorney General report, served as one of the now humiliated former New York governor's advisors, and his advice involved how to crush these women making the accusations of sexual misconduct against his brother. And this all while both Chris and Andrew claimed that they were all for women's rights and champions of Me Too. And so obviously Shelley Ross had it. And she decided to go public with this and show that Chris Cuomo, what he's actually like behind the scenes. Now, when I was reading about this over the weekend, I couldn't help but think of the parallels this has with Ellen DeGeneres, right? Now, the now fallen daytime TV star whose show has come to a cataclysmic end after comparable revelations that she was not in reality who she claimed to be on television. You'll definitely want to check out the video I did on the end of Ellen. I'll link it down below for you in the pinned comment section to watch after this one. Because like Ellen, Cuomo is just another liberal icon who has fallen. Now, Cuomo has since responded to the allegations. In a statement provided to the LA Times by CNN, Cuomo said, quote, "As Shelley acknowledges, our interaction was not sexual in nature. It happened 16 years ago in a public setting when she was a top executive at ABC. I apologized to her then, and I meant it." Now, needless to say, Shelley Ross isn't buying this. She said after hearing Cuomo's response that she had hoped that after 16 years he had changed, but obviously he's no different today than he was back then. In fact, she took issue, rightly so, with Cuomo's using the term, quote, "our interaction." She noted that we didn't interact. I was groped. I wasn't interacting. It was Cuomo who had his arms all over me. I wasn't voluntarily interacting with this in any way. Now, keep in mind, this is not the first time that Cuomo has been accused of this kind of stuff. Around this time last year, in September 2020, Tucker Carlson of Fox News played secret audio of a conversation between Chris Cuomo and the now disgraced former attorney to President Trump, Michael Cohen. Apparently, Cuomo and Cohen are good buddies, but for whatever reason, Cohen secretly recorded some of their conversations, specifically those involving Cuomo probing Cohen on what he knew about Trump's alleged payoffs to Stormy Daniels. And so Tucker played a minute-long portion of that tape conversation, and in the clip, Cuomo could be heard talking about allegations that he sexually harassed women while working at ABC.
You know, I'm always careful when I talk to media, you know?
Right.
Do you know how many phone calls I've gotten from people at ABC who say that reporters are calling and lying about things they heard about me to try to get stories about me when I was at ABC? Guys calling and saying, "I heard he was the Charlie Rose of ABC, he used to invite women to the hotel and open his bathroom." Do I look like the kind of guy who's got to do that?
Sure, why not? But you're
lying. So I already have a good source that says that he forced one woman to have sex. I just want to know if you've ever heard anything like that. There is no woman.
Right.
There is none of that.
So here's the problem.
Women who do work there saying, "Oh yeah, you know, some of these men," and naming me with other guys. You know, we bumped into each other once in the elevator, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he made me really uncomfortable. I mean, what the?
It's a problem, and now you.
So I'm careful with the media always.
Right.
I've always told you the media is not your friend.
No.
So apparently Cuomo was accused of being the Charlie Rose of ABC. Charlie Rose was a news correspondent at CBS and PBS. He was fired and his career collapsed back in November 2017 after 8 women came out and accused him of sexual harassment, which he admitted to. So before he joined CNN, Cuomo worked at ABC for over a decade, from 2000 to 2013. He was a co-anchor of Good Morning America. He co-hosted 2020. And he's revealing here in this tape that there are some rumors going on around him, about him there. We'll see if anything comes to the surface from all of that with the latest accusation from Shelley Ross. But regardless, whether they do or not, both Cuomo's and CNN's reputations are in absolute tatters at this point. This latest scandal with Cuomo is just eroding any semblance of credibility that CNN may still have. I know you would think that that would be impossible given the already stellar job that Brian Stelter does on his own in eroding any semblance of credibility that CNN has. But by the way, have you noticed the bizarre Stelter smile? It's like he's a cyborg, right? A cyborg sent from some merciful force to single-handedly bring down CNN, rotting out any semblance of trustworthiness that this so-called news organization still has. But that said, there's no question that Cuomo's imploding reputation is only managing to further eradicate CNN's. It was just a few weeks back that news outlets were coming out and very deliberately distancing themselves from CNN and in effect isolating the troubled network from the wider mainstream media. And they were doing it for their own survival. When it was revealed that Chris Cuomo was advising his brother on how to beat all of these accusations of sexual harassment against him, network after network started distancing themselves from CNN because they didn't want CNN's fall to be theirs. And guess what? As of this week, they're doing it again. Even the most leftist rags are throwing CNN under the bus. Now, before we get into that, let's pay our bills here and give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's BioTrust and their awesome immune system supporting product, Ageless Body. Ageless Body combines 5 of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses to boost your immune system like nothing else. And best of all, if you click on that link below right now, you're going to get Ageless Body at their lowest price ever, 51% off with free U.S. shipping to boot. So don't wait. Click on that link or go to agewithsteveturley.com. All right, so look at this from the ultra-left Washington Post. They're coming out and publicly calling Cuomo a Me Too hypocrite. They've had it. Even the left-wing media's had it with Cuomo and CNN. They're both undermining any semblance of credibility that the mainstream media still has. And so it's becoming increasingly clear that these left-wing activists disguised as journalists want CNN to take Chris Cuomo out. But don't hold your breath, because thus far CNN hasn't even addressed the accusations. So we'll obviously be keeping our eyes on how things develop here, but it appears very, very clear, like with Ellen DeGeneres, we're seeing another liberal icon hypocrite fall, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving guy. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out that video I did on the official end of Ellen DeGeneres and how another liberal icon has indeed fallen. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link and I'll see you over there. God bless.